Hello, everyone. My name is Oded. I'm Chief Technologist in Checkpoint from headquarters in Tel Aviv. Thank you for inviting me. So everyone is talking about AI. Now we will talk about AI from the real world, from the cyber world, from the part of the attackers, the part that are changing our landscape, the ones that are creating or making us to create technology. So let's understand a little bit AI, but from the other side. So basically, in my day-to-day, me and my teams are basically hunting hackers and hunting malicious activities, big campaigns, state sponsor, et cetera, et cetera. You understand like the situation that we are in the cyberspace. So AI investment is something that we didn't see from technology perspective on any technology that we saw in the last decade in terms of investments. Basically, when you invest so much in technology, it means that you accelerate the development. There are tons of projects that not all of them are needed, but the amount of money that's spent on the innovation will take the AI to a level that will change everything in our life, and it will come very fast because of the spending. So once you spend so much on AI, we need to understand that our reality, there are two ecosystems. There is like the reality, the conventional ecosystem, and in the cyberspace, there is like the other side, the hackers ecosystem. So once we invest, so the hackers are investing too, because hackers are the ones that are adopting technologies in the best way. They are not waiting. They are doing POCs. They are running with technologies all the time. Let's try to understand a little bit the cybercrime. So cybercrimes are organizations. Cybercrimes are more powerful than some state sponsors. Cybercrime has a budget, has a big revenue. 15 years ago, when the crypto domain was introduced, so that was changing totally the cybercrime world. And the cybercrime started to do revolution from any hack they could do cash out. So in the last 15 years, this simple thing of I hack you, you give me money, that was creating huge organization that our main objective is to create malicious revenue from malicious activity. So the hackers have teams that are responsible to create the intelligence, the weapons, and to make sure that the target will be achieved. So that means that the CTO of the hacking group is constantly creating weapons, checking them, and if we look on the cycle of how you attack a target, so the most expensive steps in there is the intelligence gathering, is the weaponized, creating a weapon, test the weapon. These are the three much consumed resources from the cybercrime. So in order to solve that, we need to understand how cybercrime, how hackers are going to solve this issue. So today, I want to give you a roadmap of 5 to 10 years from now, where is the cyberspace going to be? And it's going to be in a different spectrum. Let's try to understand the milestones. So today, we in a milestone that we call it hacking agents. There are prompts connected to LLMs, the LLMs being trained with malicious content. We will understand exactly how the malicious content are being trained by the hackers. However, today, hackers are executing intelligent objectives, reconnaissance, building one-days exploits, and testing the vulnerabilities with AI and with malicious LLMs. And that reduces their activity from weeks to months till they are preparing the right weapon for targets into hours or specific days. The next milestone that we are going to see in 2 years from now is a milestone that we call payloads LLMs. So today, in the nature of attack, there are two phases. There is the exploitation, and there is the payloads. The exploitation is the one that gives you access to the target, and the payload is what your objective. Ransomware, or spyware, or keylogger, whatever. This is just the application. But the real thing is the exploitation. So once there is exploitation, we see methods of command and control that basically unleash the payload to a specific target. For example, I want you to scan the network. You finish to scan the network. The author or the owner need to change the payload and move on. What we are going to see is that there will be malicious, or what we call command and control LLMs that basically will unleash stealth, amorphic payloads. And these payloads will change themselves on automatically manner without man and the command and control, and change the payload according to the attack. For example, the payload will start with, for example, SSRF, like I want to scan the network. Then I want to take the payload and create exploit for Active Directory, et cetera, et cetera. Everything will be automatically. No point of human in the middle. We will unleash the LLM, and the LLM will be amorphic and will achieve the goal. 5 years from now, there will be 0 days LLMs. And when I'm saying 0 days LLMs, I'm not meaning that there will be LLM that will find 0 days on iOS or remote code execution. They can. However, the 0-day LLM that I'm referring is that you will give the LLM a target, a domain, and he will do all the necessary things to find a specific vulnerability for the target configuration. This is the real world, meaning, for example, if the target has web server, Nginx, et cetera, however, the application, the logic of the application will allow me to perform code injection. So this is not a 0-day for the industry. This is 0-day specific for this target, specific for his code logic, and the LLM will manage to find this 0-day, will exploit it, and will perform the objective. Of course, there will be 0 days that will be relevant to many targets. However, again, the LLM will perform all the things that he needs to do in order to find a vulnerability that will allow him to continue and inject codes. 5 to 10 years from now, the cyber industry will change totally. Offense and defense will be all LLMs. We need to understand that today, cybersecurity is all based on stateful inspection. Stateful inspection is a technology that basically takes the TCP/IP, break it, headers, subject, data, body, attachment links. Each part of the TCP is rendering new security protection. This is how it works. Today, we are working on methods to perform prevention based on models, based on fingerprint. We will not look on the internet in the same way as we look today. There will not be stateful inspection for any packets. It will be models. It will be fingerprints. We will see the packets as a fingerprint, and the packets, we will know if it's malicious or not. So the attackers will use LLMs, and all the defense will be based on LLMs. And this is where we are going from 5 to 10 years from now. And of course, the hackers would like to complete the entire attack cycle by LLM, and this is what they are doing. We're going to do. Okay? We, as a cybersecurity industry, we need to understand that and prepare. That's okay. But we first need to look on the hacker side. So let's start talk about interesting things, like fun things. So 2 years ago, OpenAI released GPT-4. 1 year ago or something, yeah. GPT-4 was part of the objective of GPT-4 is that they stated that they are going to prevent all the data leak or all the leakage on GPT-3 model that allows user to create malicious things with the GPT-3, to create phishing, to create drugs, bombs, etc. They didn't add filters. So GPT-4 was going to solve it. So we decided to go and review GPT-4 and see if we can do data leak. And for me or for us as researchers, we need to see code. We need to see binary. We need to see something, reverse engineering. OK, we understand. We can see something. Here, it's like you try to exploit a human being. You don't see code running. And that was like freaky crazy. However, we managed to find a vulnerability and bypass the entire GPT-4. And the vulnerability was in the conflict reflex of GPT-4. It's like you need to understand that you are going to exploit a human brain or to find like a ego stuff or like things that are making collusion in the decision. So basically, what we found is if we found a conflict in the ego of GPT-4. We found a place where he has the reflex to correct you. However, he has the reflex to filter information that he don't need to show. So we found a method, as you can see here. We tried to get like drugs, methamphetamine receipt. And as you can see, the start point was no, and the end point was yes. How did we do that? It's just we played with his ego. We provided him statements that we are okay, that we doing it part of the lab, etc. But we gave them like a specific information that we knew, and then he started to correct us. He started to provide us with the information needed. Eventually, we managed to break it and to get the entire information. And basically, we reported that to OpenAI, which they fixed the thing. So that was like experience that I wanted to share with you, like how we started. So let's see a little bit the revolution now with hacking agents. So with GPT-3, it was easy. We could tell GPT to create us a spear phishing and to ask him to improve it with a statement. And then we could tell him, OK, so we want you to create Excel with macro, and I want that the macro will have a VBA code. And then I worked with him to build the entire scene. OK, now I want reversal. Now you can compile it to binary. So I had to work with GPT-3 step by step. Boring. What did the hackers do in the last year? Ta-da! Top 5 malicious LLMs available already, and kicking asses. What these malicious LLM are doing? So warm GPT and fraud GPT are the most advanced one. But as you can see, each malicious LLM is providing ability to automate attacks. Remember, I saw you the cycle. Cybercrime, hackers, they have objectives. They want to unleash attacks and have revenue every day, 24/7, globally. They need to move fast. Okay? That means we don't see like, wow, this is exploitation that we never saw. This is the sophistication that we never saw. But we are seeing much more volatility. It's like fast. Attacks are being like in big numbers. And the price is a joke. That was the price like 1.5 years ago, and now it's like much more cheap. And I can say that we are seeing also the malicious LLMs available free in the internet. So it seems like it's got out of control. And this is like example of fraud GPT menu and warm GPT. And we can see, we saw that we are seeing all the time that the underground forums are, in the last 2 years, this is what they are doing. Like they are just like integrating AI technologies. So how did they train these LLMs? So let's a little bit understand. And basically, you know, the fundamental of machine learning and AI is that you build a model, you take millions of samples, fine-tune. With innovation today, it's like very simple to do that. And then the model is being trained promptly, and it can act very fast. So, so one of the things that were like being trained the LLM is, of course, all the dark web forums. There is like, I don't know, like terabyte, like petaterabyte of leaks and with exploitation and CVEs and it's like all there. So you just give it to LLM, it's like, wow, it's like he's doing magics with it. Sorry. And code and models, like all the code and everything is malware code is available. It's like in the internet, it's transparent. We see the investigation, we see in the researches, we see that on the blogs, on all the industry. So there is a lot of data there that's even that the cybersecurity companies that are releasing amazing blog research with all the details, which is super nice. But think about it, that machines learning it, and they can easily take this information, and you can take it to the other side easily. Okay, phishing and stuff, this is like very simple and very easy to train the LLMs. But let's see the real thing. Okay, so I will show you a little bit a few examples. Yeah, so let's start. So for example, of what is the capabilities, or what is the offering, okay? So this is like an example of a simple prompt. Let's now give example of a keylogger, okay? So for example, I would like to write a keylogger, and once I see like the output, I can just play with him and say, okay, this keylogger is nice, but it's not stealth. So you can walk with him and build it more stealth, or build it like according to your objective. And it's just like, again, we are in the level of hacking agent, so we still prompt with it, okay? So now he's like making the exploitation much better. And this is a simple example of phishing, where you can, again, walk with him, adjust it, make it much more accurate, much more relevant, much more specific. You know, like 3 years ago, a lot of the campaigns that we saw, like on a daily basis, we had an easy way to terminate it, because there was language problems all the time. Like, the hackers didn't know how to. They had the mistakes, you know what I mean? But now it's like you cannot you cannot identify it. Okay. So let's see a demo of creating a CVE exploit. That was like, I think it was a Fortinet CVE. It was a RCE. So you can see that this is like super easy, which is like the chatbot is providing you where is like the buffer, where is like the payload, and you can put shellcode. And it's much more easy. You just like play with it like with visual. And for example, the last example is creating an exploit, but this time I'm giving him like the infrastructure. I don't have like a CVE. I know that the target has Apache server, okay? And I'm giving him like and he start now to offer me what we can do with that, okay? I tell him that I have only the web server, and tell me, okay, give me the give me the version. It's like instructing me how to give him the missing information to help me build the exploit. So we're telling him that it's like version 1.18. It's on Ubuntu. And he provide us CV exploitation for that version. He's giving us path reversal. Path reversal, it's amazing start for to exploit any kind. Also, he can provide us like remote code execution, which is like the best. And we ask him, okay, we want to do like the remote code execution or the path reversal. We interact. We're building weapons. So that is like the this is the reality. It's much faster, it's much bigger, it's much aggressive. I try to give it to you like in a nice graphic way, but we lost our, we don't know like who is behind the attacks anymore. You know what I mean? Like it was easy for us to see fingerprints while we were like performing forensics. Okay, and this is why I'm saying like eventually the message that I want to give is that we are doing transformation and we are moving to the cyberspace that will be eventually LLM vice LLM, offense, defense, LLM. We will be this technology. I hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you very much.